systems. For example, that one used by Chile government called Compranet system. This allows the government to make procurement processes fully online and publicly. And also in Kenya, there is this system called KRA ITAX. Yeah, this is a system that enables people to file their returns, and it can also shows the transparency in the tax collection by automatically or automating the tax processes and reducing human interventions. I also, in Africa, I'm gonna give this example of, for example, the Ghana's integrated financial and management information system that enables the public, the general public, to see how the government manages finances and financial management publicly by providing information and trying to show transparency. Yeah, that is a summary of what I came up with. Thank you. Hello, am I audible?
Okay.
Yes,
Are you
audible.
audible? And I say thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for your research on the topics. We go to who's next? Here I can see Karani. Who's Karani?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, tell us something about your assignment, please.
Yeah. Some of the things my colleagues have mentioned. So on my end, I had these online results in Kenya by IEBC, which enabled the results from the police station direct to the National Tallying Center to prevent the results being going through a lot of channels that can be corrupted, which helped in transparency. Another tool worldwide is social media. Social media platform can be used by NGOs and governments to advertise for jobs, which enhances transparency in hiring. I had this one from America in Indianapolis. They had a program. They have a program called My Neighborhood, that they allow each citizen to find government services in the nearest location. Everything from libraries and their station to bus routes, youth shelters, hospitals, and more. It helps in transparency for which actively engages the citizens to apply for these jobs, get these services. The other things I think my colleagues have mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karani. So we will be glad to hear from which one else? Carol Alice. Carol Alice. Carol Alice, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you have the floor. Please tell us about your assignment, different tools that you come across with, and how those tools can be used in fighting corruption or in promoting transparency and accountability.
Okay, thank you so much. So there are many tools that can be used to fight transparency. We know that transparency helps to establish the relationship of confidence between the officials and the citizens, in also minimizing the chances for embezzlement. And in many countries, there is a consideration of tools and technologies to foster the same. And it is important to note that such tools are does not only revolutionize the governance in the era, but also the significance in the realization of better governance. So the first one I identified was something to do with blockchain technology, which represents a safe and transparent system for record keeping, whereby the stakeholders are finding it useful since it's helpful in improving transparency of their government. A country like Estonia in Europe uses blockchain as an e-government service, which protects the records such as health, voting records from being modified. In Africa, Kenya is already using that also. We can say it's in the pilot experiment, though we don't know about it that much. But it's based on solution. It tackles issues of fraudulent deeds in the land registry, and it helps to guarantee the records of land ownership, and they are said to be authentic. And there is also another one called Open Data Platforms, which plays a crucial role in sharing government data and thereby making such data available to citizens for improving transparency. Some of the websites include data.government, one for the US, and there's data.government.uk for the United Kingdom, where people of different sectors can collect and avail data on health, transport, and environment. In Africa, the case of National Treasury, South Africa, and Kenya's Open Data Initiative, where the data on the budget, health, and infrastructure are available to public. And these platforms put in the hands of public, allowing them to examine and raise questions in case of anything. And there is also another tool called the digital procurement system. They minimize contract opportunities in government. They bring about transparency in such areas. And one of them is in Ukraine, they have structures called the Prozoro. And in Chile, they have one called Chile Compra. They offer information regarding procurement-related activities, which in turn open for public perusal of binding and contracting. So in Africa, the country's Bureau of Public Procurement has developed an e-procurement system to promote fair binding processes, while Kenya, they have the IFMIS that has been helpful in improving the accountability of the public procurement system. Then there's the financial disclosure system. The public declaration of assets register may well go a long way to reduce corrupt practices among officials. Internationally, IPSAS work to enhance accountability of public organizations through sound integrated reporting system. For instance, in Africa, Nigeria owns an institution called the Code of Conduct Bureau, which is responsible for managing declared assets for officers and employees of the country. Such system assists to check executive and access and help provide accountability of public officers on source of the accumulated wealth, aiming to reduce fraud and embezzlement. We know of the same in Kenya, whereby most of the time our leaders are audited and they are questioned about their wealth. And we know of the recent case of the impeachment of the deputy president and such issues. So there is also something called crowdsourced reporting apps, where there are some applications to crowdsource and report that allow the citizens to report a problem directly to authorities. This is like, I think we call this something like anonymous whistleblowing, I can call it that way. And it increases the transparency. And some of the examples in America include the C-Click fix and the British Fix My Street, whereby it's a platform where the people report anything infrastructural or anything they're not happy with. And I found out there's something called Ushahidi, which also allows reporting cases, crisis, corruption, and development problems, which I think I've never been able to access or I didn't know about. And there's also specific uses of social media sites for government communication. We know most of the time, including here in Kenya, people raise issues on social media and the government sometimes is able to access the raised concern and address it in a way or another. And also it is also used in other countries like the US and Europe for a long time. And there is also the GIS. So through the GIS technology, the government is able to identify projects in maps and thus monitor the allocation of resources effectively. For example, Brazil's GeoObras monitors public construction projects through a system which shows the people, the progress of the works, and the financing. In Uganda, GIS is applied as a tool to track infrastructure projects, and in Kenya, it's used to track environmental and wildlife issues like water resource and general urban planning, but mostly I use tonight as a tool for tracking wild animals. And there's also the protection of whistleblower platforms, both intended and unintended system consequences are that whistleblower protection systems are available methods that let individuals safely submit reports of wrongdoings. In the world, web applications such as SafeBox.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much. Thank you for your wonderful work. Okay, I pick randomly another name here, Sharon. Sharon, can you also tell us something about your assignment? Hello, Sharon, are you there? Sharon is not there. Okay, Samuel.
Please.
Samuel Asugo. Can you hear me? Samuel is not there either. Ali. Are you there, Ali? Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well, Mr. Gerald. I guess some of the fellows are experiencing network issues.
Okay. Let me pick the last one now. Nelson.
Okay. Let me give just some of the examples of tools and the technologies that enhance transparency in government and non-governmental institutions globally in Kenya and Africa. There is open data platforms, digital reporting systems, blockchain technology, social media, and crowdsourcing, open government portals, and there is data analytics and AI. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your wonderful work. Now we are going to continue with our second module today. Every 9th December, the world celebrates the anti-corruption day. Now I want to play this with you. If you were asked to suggest a topic for this year's anti-corruption day, what would it be? This question is asked to you fellows. Every 9th December, we celebrate the anti-corruption day. If you were asked to suggest a topic for this year's anti-corruption day, what would it be? You have 1 minute to think and come up with your responses.
Can I try?
Yes.
I'd say kufa dereva kufa makanga.
Pardon?
I'd use the slogan that has been trending for some time during the impeachment of the vice president. And it was like, kufa dereva, kufa makanga. Because sometimes we are much into pointing out one person and their corruption issues, and we leave out the many others. So it means that sometimes our systems are not that transparent, because it's like it's
Okay, Sharon. I can't get you through. Okay, thank you so much, Sharon. Which one else? If you were asked to suggest a topic for this year's anti-corruption day, what would it be?
Hello, can I try?
Yes, yes.
Okay, for me, if I were to choose, I can go with the theme that uniting youth with against corruption. This is because youth are like they also play a very great role in the future of any organization or a country. So I can say uniting with youth against and corruption to shape tomorrow's integrity. Thank you.
Okay, that is great. Uniting youth against corruption. Okay, now we need more topics, as many topics as possible. Someone else can just propose another topic here for this year's anti-corruption day. Yeah, I can read in the chat from Mumbo here. He's saying, and corruption is the key to development. Okay, thank you. That is great. So you have got very good ideas about anti-corruption, and that is very, very, very wonderful. I do appreciate all your ideas. Now we are going to see some tools that are used to fight corruption or to promote transparency and accountability in Kenya and Africa. Last year we saw some in the world, even though we are going to add other tools that can be used worldwide. Now, John, you can take us to our first slide. Thank you so much for your wonderful contributions. Okay. I lead program promoting transparency and accountability. So let's go through some tools, examples of tools and technologies that enhance transparency in government and non-governmental institutions. Okay, some of you gave this. They said Ushahidi in Kenya. Okay, Ushahidi is a crowdsourcing platform developed in Kenya that allows users to report and map incidents using various channels, such as SMS, email, and social media. It has been used in Kenya and other African countries to monitor elections, track corruption, and report on various social issues. iCar is a mobile application developed in Kenya that provides farmers with information on livestock management, market prices, and weather updates. It promotes transparency by empowering farmers with knowledge and access to market information, helping them make informed decisions and reduce exploitation. Those are two of the tools used in Kenya. Okay, thank you. Next slide. Yeah, MP degree. MP degree is a technology platform used in several African countries, including Kenya, to combat counterfeit medicine. It allows consumers to verify the authenticity of medicines by sending a unique code via SMS. This tool enhances transparency by ensuring that consumers have access to genuine and safe medications. Open Contracting Data Standards, OCDS. The OCDS is a global standard that promotes transparency in public procurement. In Africa, countries like Ghana, Nigeria, and South Africa have adopted the OCDS to publish procurement data in a standardized format, enabling citizens and businesses to monitor government contracts and detect potential corruption. So that is another kind of tools used in different countries in Africa. Next slide. Okay, Twaweza is a social initiative operating in East Africa that uses various tools and technologies to promote transparency and accountability in education and governments. They utilize mobile surveys, citizen reporting, and data visualization to gather information and engage citizens in monitoring and advocating for better services. Huduma Kenya. Huduma Kenya is an online portal and mobile application that provides citizens with access to government services and information. It enhances transparency by digitizing and streamlining service delivery, reducing corruption opportunities, and improving public access to government services. So among others, those are some of the tools that are used in Africa and Kenya. And you can find more on internet if you make research. And I do congratulate you for the work that you did. It was very, very constructive. You gave good ideas, and I do encourage you to make much research in order to know more about those tools. It's very important when fighting corruption to embed some technologies in your strategies and approaches. Thank you so much. So today's session will be a bit different. We are going to have now some case studies, and these case studies will be like assignments, but you will do this for 1 month, from today. So don't worry, they are very easy, and I will share some background with you. We have gotten a case study about Botswana's success in combating corruption. And second case study is about Kenya's Huduma centers and service delivery transformation. So I will tell everyone which case study to do, because if I just give you a chance to choose by your own, sometimes you choose only one case study and the other case study does not find anyone to do it. So I will call your names later, okay, in a WhatsApp group. If it's not this week, it must be next week. So be ready for that assignment, which is very important. But we can share the assignments even now. Hello, John. Can you share the assignment? The assignments?
Yes, Mr. Gerald, I will share it.
Anaambia kijana wake. Siambie hivyo.
Priscilla Kazungu, kindly mute your microphone.
Okay, thank you, John. I would like you to share the case studies in the chats or by WhatsApp. Okay, so John is going to share the case studies with you. As you may know, Botswana is one of the best African countries in fighting corruption. And it gets a very good, I can say, marks from Transparency International every year. It's always among the 3 best countries in Africa. So I will ask you to make some research and learn a bit more about Botswana in order to know how you can also learn from their experience and improve your working experience in Kenya. Yes, this is a case study about Botswana. Botswana's success in combating corruption. I just gave you a background here, but this is not enough. You will need to make more research to know more about how Botswana is trying to fight corruption. And it's very much, so we cannot read everything. Let me read only some lines in the beginning. At the beginning here.
Mr. Gerald, excuse, I've shared it.
Yeah.
I've shared
okay.
it. So kindly fellows, look at the WhatsApp. I've shared it.
Okay, thank you. So every fellow can just have a look of it, but you will read it deeper after this session, so don't worry. Yeah. And also you can share the other case study about Kenya, the Huduma Center.
I've shared it, all the case studies, including Botswana, Kenya. Look at it.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are going to split fellows into different groups. No, this must be done individually. Everyone must present their work. So we have got a group activity now. Group activity, for this group activity, fellows must have at least 20 minutes for preparation. So you have 20 minutes for preparation and 10 minutes for presentation. Now I will ask John to share first the group activities by WhatsApp, if you can do the same. Share the group activity by WhatsApp. We are going to work on that now. And for this, we are going to work differently, not like what we did in previous sessions. Because in previous sessions, only one person could speak in a group. But now, for today's group activity, at least 3 persons will speak in a group. So everyone should be well prepared for this activity. Group activity. We need people to get ready for this. Try to share the group activity by WhatsApp, and participants or fellows will read it from there.
Yes, I've shared it as well.
Perfect.
So fellows will be placed into different groups. Whenever a pop-up appears in the screen, kindly take it and will take you to the group that you belong to. And the case studies and the group activity is in the WhatsApp. You can check it as well once you are in your groups.
Okay, yes, Carol, about the case studies that you'll do after today's session, that is an assignment, and I'm going to follow up on that, don't worry. So there is a group activity there in WhatsApp. Try to read well. There is a group activity, and everyone should open that file, okay, written group activity. And there you will find just 3 topics, and we are going to divide you in different groups. So don't worry, you'll know your group in a minute, okay? Okay, I see several case studies in the WhatsApp group. Yes, there are just two case studies. Don't worry about case studies. We are going to tell you more about case studies later. But now focus on the group activity.
Meanwhile, fellows, as we are working on to place you into different groups, you can ask any question that you feel like asking as you are working on it.
Yes, I would like to read all group activities. Here we have group one. Group one will work on education transparency campaign. Transparency campaign. Okay, you have key messages there. You will read in your different groups. Key messages, what you can reflect on while doing your activity. Transparency in education ensures equitable access to quality education for all. Transparent allocation of educational resources leads to improved learning outcomes. Accountability in education promotes efficient use of resources and reduces corruption. Target audiences. What are target audiences here? Parents and guardians, students, teachers and educators, school administrators, government officials and policymakers. Strategies: develop a user-friendly online portal to provide information on school budgets, expenditures, and performance indicators. Conduct public awareness campaigns through social media, community events, and radio to educate parents and students about their rights and the importance of the transparency in education. Establish mechanisms for anonymous reporting of corruption or mismanagement in schools. Engage with parent teacher associations, student councils, and community leaders to promote transparency and accountability in education. Group 2, Health Transparency Campaign. Key messages: transparent health systems ensure access to quality healthcare services for all. Accountability in healthcare leads to improved patient outcomes and reduced wastage of resources. Transparency promotes trust in healthcare system and encourages public participation in decision making. Yes?
Oh, okay. Participants, kindly join your groups.
Okay, yeah. I think they will continue reading everything in their group. Thank you. Hello, let's start the presentations. You can ask those who are still in their rooms to join the main room.
Are we starting with group 1?
No, I'm just speaking to Ken and John.
Okay.
Yeah, if they can tell the other people to join the main room.
So Gerald, you can continue.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I am very happy to see you back all. So we are going now to start our presentations. You will have 3 minutes of presentations and then 2 minutes for questions. If someone will have a questions, they will ask you, so get ready for that. We are going to start with the group 1, the group which worked on education transparency campaign. So, Anne, you have the floor. Anne and your colleagues, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you so much, Gerard. What my group was able to, we were able to come up with quite a number of good campaigns. I'll take us through them. So the first one was train school management on how to use data. Train school management on how to properly use data to enhance accountability and transparency. Then introducing technology, in this case, biometrics, that will be able to alert the parents on the kids' movement when they come in and anytime they leave out. Then also consider imbalances and cultural constraints when designing a school to allow for inclusivity and a fair learning environment. Also, just in the school sector, design mechanisms that will enable fair comparisons between schools. The other one, education transparency provides the information to advocates for the resources required to deliver quality instructions. And this one was on the teacher's side, where we said we don't want to burden the teachers with a lot, demanding so much from them, yet we are giving them little to achieve that. So this was for the teachers. Then establish clear and accessible reporting mechanisms for budget, resource allocation, and student performance data. This is a really key transparency point. Also, ensure that transparency and accountability measures are enforced and monitored at the local and national levels. We said this is a good campaign because as much as we are striving to enforce them at the school level, they should also be at the local and national level so that someone may not feel burdened or just think that it's a school thing, but they should go beyond just the school. Also, empower parents to engage with school administrators and advocate for their children's educational needs, because our parents should not just take the second wheel, but they should be empowered to actively involve to be actively involved in their children's academics. Then empower students to know more about their needs and rights, the resources availed for them also. So just like parents, the students also should take an active role in what's happening, what they're learning, their school environment. Yes. So also closely linked to this campaign for the students, there is one also where we said encourage student-led initiatives to monitor the quality of education and report any issues or concerns. So our main point here was students should be in the forefront. They should not just be recipients of what's happening, but they should be encouraged to take the lead. Yes. Then I think the last point was put the tendering process open for accountability and to allow parents to apply for the tenders, those who are interested. It should not be something that's done, quote unquote, under the waters, but there should be transparency. Yes, to allow for accountability. Yeah, so that's what we were able to come up with for group 1. I invite any questions.
Okay, thank you. And so before questions, I'd like to ask if someone from the group would add something. Yes. Those who worked with Anne, I can see Dennis. Dennis, are you there?
Yes, I'm there, sir.
Okay. Do you have something to add, or that's enough?
Okay, so I don't have something to add.
Right. So we allow questions from anyone. If you have a question to ask to members of this group, please feel free to ask your questions about that topic, of course. Okay. If there is no question, so we can move to the second group, those who worked on health transparency campaign. You have the floor, second group.
Yes, hello. My name is Brian Ekesa, and I hope I can be heard loud enough and clear. We dealt with the ways of enhancing transparency in the health sector, and our points of arguments have been divided amongst ourselves. We were 4. My members were Alice, Alfred, and Nelson. So everybody of us is gonna be presenting some few points about it briefly for the interest of time. I'll start by, we suggested that we can do, or rather develop an application or a website where people can give out their views about the services being provided in our health sector, or even report issues that are not pleasing to them. One of the points we said that the application or our website can provide information, or can act as an information hub in providing various information. For example, it can help us knowing the available facilities, the operating hours, and the service costs, and quality indicators of the services being provided in a certain health facility or health sector. The website, we also said, or the application, we also said it can allow users to rate the services they are receiving, and creating a feedback loop that can promote accountability. It can also help us track the services that are being given. This is whereby patients can track their appointments and their service requests. We can also make this website a user-friendly one, so that they can be maybe available in multiple languages and accessible to people with disparate specification, or rather with different disabilities. Also, disabled people can access the services, and yeah. So I'm going to give the floor to one of my group members to also explain on the other thing. Thank you.
Thank you. On public awareness campaigns in enhancing transparency in healthcare system, we also found out the doctor is supposed to explain to you whatever is happening to your body and whatever procedure they are going to carry out. So that would mean encouraging feedback and reporting, so that patients also will be able to report cases of unethical practices or poor services within the within the healthcare system. And also holding the campaigns will will promote access to information to the general public, which can be done, of course, in the clinics, including the local clinics, the media platforms. You can also use the local radio station to ensure that even the citizens who doesn't understand maybe English or Swahili can access the information. There can also be issues of posters. Posters can be placed to different places, like just the other day we had the mpox sensitization, so we see posters almost everywhere, and some public awareness drive here and there. They are so important because they also encourage trust with the health systems, because when somebody understands what they should expect and they go and find exactly the same way, they will trust our systems. But in case they meet with something different, they may be able also to complain. Yes, I think that's all I can say for now. I welcome my colleague to continue the third section that we are supposed to look at. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, go on.
Good evening. So I'll take you through on the third question about the mechanisms for reporting corruption and ethical practices or substandard healthcare services. So some of the mechanisms we have got, one of them you can say the mounting of CCTVs in this healthcare building or institution. No, the mounting of CCTVs will help boost transparency, because one point to make sure that there will be a good delivery of services. Also, another mechanism, create a dedicated hotline for reporting unethical issues. This hotline, there can be numbers or SMSs that will be, for instance, you can mount these hotlines in the walls of the health institution, so that in case of anything that has happened, it will be easy for reporting. And another mechanism for reporting these substandard healthcare services is by training the healthcare providers and staffs So these healthcare providers, they should be trained on how to identify and report these instances, because we have some healthcare providers, they lack this knowledge of reporting. Maybe they fear that if they report, maybe they may lose their jobs. So they should be trained on how to identify and report instances in a safer way. Okay, another mechanism, it is collaborating with external organization. So to make sure that there is substandard healthcare services, many healthcare institutions can collaborate with external organizations. For instance, many humanitarian organizations, most of them do advocate for transparency also. So they can collaborate. Also, the last mechanism is implementing a system for tracking and monitoring reported cases. You know, many people do report these cases, but after reporting, they don't I can't say they don't monitor the cases. So I think they should come up with a mechanism to implement a system for tracking these cases. So to make sure that each and every cases that is reported, it is resolved or it is dealt with, so that to make sure that the healthcare services deliver good services. And by doing that, I think transparency will help a lot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. As our time is running out, so we move to the last group. Last group, Agriculture Transparency Campaign.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Benson Fraha, and I will talk briefly on what we have discussed, and maybe my members or my colleagues will add something because of time. So, from our group, we were handling agriculture transparency campaign, and we've come up with the following. We dealt in Kenya actually. So the following is what we have discussed, and the first, we saw there are some platforms and organizations which are being used or are coming in to facilitate transparency in the agricultural sector. For example, we have the eCitizen portal. This one, it enables farmers to do online registrations and get some licenses, which minimizes human intervention, where you find maybe in cases where human beings are much more involved, there might be some cases of corruption. And the next one we discussed, we had the Anti-Corruption Commission, which also it helps in auditing and checks for loopholes in the agricultural sector. So it helps to maintain transparency in that sector. The next point we discussed was Transparency International Kenya. This is an initiative where in the agricultural sector, it helps in subsidies, grants, and other resources. So coming in, it helps to give real-time information to the farmers. So it helps to minimize some cases of corruption. We also discussed on AgriWallet, which is a digital tool. It enables farmers to pay and borrow online. This one, it helps to keep digital records to farmers. So whenever farmers need to get some records of their activities they can retrieve. So it is easier and it enables transparency in the sector. The other thing we talked about is CARO. CARO as an organization, it helps. It is an e-library and also a mobile web, which provide farmers with research and technology, which it helps to give farmers real-time information. So it really helps to combat maybe in some instances where some frauds can just come in and say like we have this, maybe the research says this, but CALRO is a trusted organization, so it gives real information which helps to curb the corruption. So the other thing we talked about was Soko Plus, also an integrated digital marketplace which farmers and buyers meet. This one, it betters the access of market and information. Also, it reduces human intervention. So it also combats corruption and enhances transparency. So I'd like to invite Priscilla to talk on DigiFarm, and one of our members will talk about transparency. We'll talk about farmers cooperation. So Priscilla, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll go ahead and talk about DigiFarm by Safaricom. It is also a digital platform which provides small-scale farmers with access to information about markets and financing options through the mobile phones. The platform integrates various farming resources, which include soil testing, quality inputs, and financial services. The impact this digital tool that has with the detailed records and transparency in services, DigiFarm aims to reduce exploitation, ensuring that farmers receive quality inputs and fair payment. Yes.
Thank you, Priscilla. I like to talk about cooperatives. In recent years, we have seen farmers cooperative being supported by the government, where farmers can access capacity building, finances, and even marketing of their farm produce. This has helped in quality and improving quality of farm produce, quantity, and even exposure of farmers to the markets. Thank you. That was it.
Also, I can add something that we had also discussed very fast. There was something that we have discussed about climate action transparency with the initials ICAT Kenya. It is supported by the United Nations and it works directly with the Kenyan government to enhance transparency in climate action and reporting. It involves developing systems to measure, report, and verify greenhouse gas emissions, policy impacts, and adaptation efforts. The impact that this policy has is building systems that promotes transparency in climate data, and it also ensuring accurate reporting on Kenya's progress towards its climate goals. And the last thing that I want to talk about, it is this platform, which is called the Kenya Youth Agribusiness Strategy between the years 2018-2021. It was developed by the government, the Ministry of Agriculture in Kenya, Livestock, Fisheries and Irrigation to empower youths through agribusiness opportunities. The strategy is aimed to reduce youth unemployment, enhancing food security, and modernizing the agricultural sector by engaging young people in productive, profitable farming and agribusiness ventures. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentations, which reflect the reality of our learning journey. Okay, I'm very happy. Now, as I told you earlier, we are going to have some assignments on case studies. So I'm going to follow up on that by WhatsApp. Thank you. I will tell you which case study to be done by which one, so be patient. By Tuesday next week, I will tell you, I will divide you into groups. No, please, no. Yeah, the case studies must be done individually. So I will choose a case study for each one of you. So you will not have to choose a case study for yourself. Thank you. This is the end for our today's session. And I wish you all the best. And I really enjoy your commitment to the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Facilitator Gerald, for the wisdom. God bless you so much. Fellows, up to this far end, we have reached the stalemate of our today's training. Until next week on Friday, once again we shall meet this platform again for another module, for a new module that is. And as per the word of the facilitator on Tuesday, she will distribute us, she will give us each and everyone the case studies to do. And kindly fellows, whenever we're being given tasks, let us do it on time and submit it on time as well, to give him time to review and to see and to make correction as well. And you are hereby reminded, make sure there's a link that has been shared via the chat box. So kindly ensure that you have filled in before leaving. We will not make a follow-up to ensure that you have signed. This is the only time that you have. Kindly fellows, do so. To you, our operations manager, make final remarks as you usher in our executive director. Mr.
Thank
Ken, to
you,
you.
John. Yes. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. I have a few concerns. Now, number one, we have a system that is monitoring all of us. So, and out of the analysis that I did today, there are 4 people that I'm going to mention, 4 fellows here. Number one, I have Chris Kabiru and Mugendi Alex. Now, they only attended 1 session. That is per the system. So I'm telling the 2, if they are here or they are not here, they only have 1 chance to redeem themselves. The next session, if they don't join us, then I think they shall be thrown out. If the system throws out, just expect an email from us, an official email that you shall no longer be with us. Number 2, I have someone called Sanith Ochieng and Paul Mwendwa. They have never joined. So if you know them, just tell them to not bother to join again. They'll be removed from the system. So henceforth, they'll not be with us. Number 3, those who join and then you are in your own world. I have realized that we had Chris who joined and then all of a sudden he's not here. We have another one, Sharon. I don't know if Sharon is still here. Sharon, you joined, then I don't know what happened. You were just in your own world, not responding to questions. And that tells us that you are either doing something else and not concentrating in the meeting. So we are also using AI to detect your performance here. So Sharon, you better change next time. So let this sound a warning to those who join, and then you start doing your own things, because it shall not go well. So we already have 2 people, Sanith Ochieng and Paul Mwendwa. From the following, the next week, they'll not be with us. This one we shall update on the wall, and they shall we shall send an official email to them. So if you know them, let this one reach to them. So next session will be next week. And from next week, I think we shall be releasing performance of the first sessions that we had with the facilitator, Gerald. So we have a system that is marking your attendance. So there is attendance of sessions, assignments that you send. So if you are not sending assignments, just know that they are marks. If you are not attending, just know they are marks. So we have our own cut line for those who will graduate from this program. So if you don't achieve, then I don't know what you will say, because this thing is very transparent. So it is upon you. Either you decide to join or not to join. There are marks. Either you decide to send assignments or not. It is upon you. But just know that all this will be compiled at the end with our facilitators. So even those who will be pitching, there is a certain mark that you must achieve. If you not have achieved, then we shall be sorry for that. I think this one is very clear to all of us. So from there, I want to thank you and wish you a peaceful night. Our ED is held up. She had a meeting. I'm not sure if she's done.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ken. That's a stand warning to the fellows. For those who have ears, let them hear. Any volunteer to close with a word of prayer?
Okay, let's pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Father, in the mighty name of the living God, we thank you for these 2 hours that we've been together, and we ask for your protection for the next 1 week until we meet again. Let everyone and each one of us be safe and good. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
You can drop.